podcast. Today's a Tuesday, and we're talking politics. Doug Pagitt here. Robb Ryerse also joining us. And it is June 1st, by the way. June. Every time there's a month, the first day of the month, I say that thing that people say, like, how can it already be June? Where did May go?
I changed our calendar.
July 4th.
Changed our calendar this morning and, flipped it over to the new thing. And there was the scene for the month of June is a beach with, little umbrellas and the beach chairs all set up. And I said to Vanessa, I said, our calendar is going to make me yearn this month. I'm going to walk out of our bedroom every day and look at that calendar and think, oh, I would rather be there, wherever there is.
Well, I'll tell you one place you could go, Rob, because right now I'm in Minneapolis. By the way, Rob is outside of Fayetteville, Arkansas. Tell us where you're at in your comments here if you're watching on the live stream. And if you're listening on the podcast, send us an email over at podcast@votecommon.good.com. Love hearing from y'all. I was down in southern Texas along the Gulf of Mexico in South Padre Island and a little further north in what's called Padre Island up by Corpus Christi. And that's a scene, I'll tell you, especially Corpus Christi. It's one of those places where you can drive your vehicles on the beaches and like a state parks and then just public beaches along what are referred to as the barrier islands. So this little thin strip of islands that's South Padre Island way down by Brownsville and then goes all the way up to Galveston. And I don't know, it's hundreds of miles long, this barrier island. And some of it's developed, much of it's just natural. And my wife and I pulled our rental car up into the Padre Island near Corpus Christi. And I will tell you, we were deep in the political Trump stew down there. So at least this was just, 2 days ago. So at least over the Memorial Day weekend, I mean, the flags were flying, Rob. It was perfectly clear what country I was in, because the American flag was flying, and what pseudo country I was in because the Texas flag was flying. And it was clear the admiration for the former failed and twice impeached and soon to be indicted president by the flags, and the disdain for the current president of the United States with pre-printed flags calling for people to do things that are unseemly to the current president. So, and then a flag that was really the shocking one we saw in a number of places. The "Come and Take It" flag. Are you familiar with the "Come and Take It" flag?
Yeah. It's a flag that they love in Texas, where they basically, are challenging those who might, want to take their guns away, or so they think, or their grills away, or their, big
Hummer
gas
vehicles,
vehicles away,
whatever it is. Come and take it. Come and take it. I dare you, kind of flags. And the image on the "Come and Take It" flag is a little star, a single star. I don't think it's representing a communist star, but a little single star, and a cannon. A cannon, Rob. I should have popped up a picture. Apparently the arms that they want to use to represent don't even dare consider taking my weapon away from me is the cannon.
Is this an
Which
Alamo
I don't
thing?
think you can own a cannon. I don't know. I mean, I guess I don't know if an operational cannon is considered a weapon that you can own.
That's right.
But that little trip that we were on, Rob, that welcomes you down there to that part of Texas. But then my wife and I were traveling the border of Texas, and one of the things you realize when you drive around Texas is that it is a complex ecosystem in and of itself. The different cities, the cities of Austin, San Antonio, Dallas, Houston, El Paso have one vibe. The rural parts have another, and then there's some larger cities that have a particular flavor to it. And man, there's a reason why, you could consider Texas to be a country in and of itself. Its size, its economy, it's just enormous. And the just the incredible political, cultural, sociological diversity that is all of Texas. So I'm a former resident of Texas, big fan of Texas, but had never experienced the Corpus Christi beach area on Memorial Day weekend. Wowzer. Yeah. It tells you that the political conversation is still alive in a lot of, I mean, just on a Memorial Day weekend where no one was really doing Memorial Day stuff the days we were there, which is Saturday and Sunday. They were doing, beach stuff. But boy, you could not avoid the cultural conversation about Trumpism and anti-democraticism along that beach we found ourselves in. Totally different feel over in South Padre Island. Didn't see any of it. Very Mexican influenced, very Latinx population in South Padre Island. Really different than where we were just 100 and 200 miles up the beach. So their beach is waiting for you, my friend. All that to say, their beach is waiting for you. Well,
I might have to drive towards one. But it's interesting as you mention all this, because it's true that and I've said on this podcast that I'm not ready to move on from January 6th yet. Yeah. I don't think we can move on from January 6th until there is a full accounting of what took place, and justice is served for those who both participated in and stoked an insurrection against our democracy and against the United States Capitol. That, what happened on January 6th is emblematic of the ongoing divide that does exist in our country. Mm-hmm. And it's not, I don't think it's a divide between two groups. I think it's more split than that. I think it's more nuanced than just one group against another group, because I think there are those on the Republican side of things who are just as horrified by the insurrectionists. Yeah. Now, how big of a group that is, is debatable. There, you look at some of the poll numbers, and I think some of the recent ones were like 23% of Republicans, think that that Donald Trump is still president, and will be reinstated at some point. That's a shockingly high number, 23%. But it's not a majority, and the problem is that certainly the extremes are most vocal. The extremes are also most interesting to the media, because they provide a story. And this is not to blame anything on the media. It's just an observation that media follows what interesting storylines, and, moderate Republicans and moderate Democrats trying to find common ground isn't the most exciting storyline in the world. Mm-hmm. It's far more sensational, and, you can get better clickbait headlines. So better clickbait headlines from,